future is in growing, and being soul-focused is how we grow. Hey, welcome to Soul Focus Radio. I'm your co-host, Mahdi, and I'm with my brother, Dustin. What's happening, D? What's going on, baby?
What's up? Man, I'm excited, man. This is becoming the highlight of my week, bro.
Me too, bro.
Yeah. So we got yet again another critically important question from Nicole from Portland, Oregon. And she says, can you tell me what ego is and how does it impact my life?
You know, that's a good question, Nicole. Real good question. And I would say this, that most people, the average person you meet, has a completely distorted view about what ego is. Most of us think that ego is being arrogant or being stuck on yourself. And I want you to know that ego is far more complex than that. It's not just being stuck on yourself or being arrogant. It could also you thinking less of yourself, you thinking that you're smaller than someone else or that you're less than someone else. That's just as much ego as you thinking that you're better than someone else. So what is ego? I like the way that Carl Jung, famous psychologist and psychiatrist, once defined what ego was. He was talking to a group of students, and he said they asked him what the ego was, just like you're asking us. And he said, the world will ask you who you are, and if you say to the world you don't know who you are, then the world will proceed to tell you who you are. Now, and who the world tells you that you are becomes your ego. Now, what does that mean? Simply means your ego is who you are trying to be for other people. Now, I want you to look in your life and see that more than likely, Nicole, you have been trying to be a lot of things for a lot of different people. You've tried to be things for your parents. You tried to be things for your boss at work. You tried to be things for maybe the men that you've been in relationship with. We all do it. We all try to become something for someone else because secretly in this world we've been socialized to believe that who we are, our natural expression is not enough. And so because we believe it's not enough, we then try to do something to make ourselves enough. And what it does is it oppresses the real you. So the original version of yourself becomes oppressed by all the things that you're trying to be for other people because it knows that it's not those things. It's kind of impossible for yourself to not know itself. All of us innately know who we are, just like a lion knows who he is, or a lioness knows who she is. A lion don't think about being a lion. It just be a lion. What the ego does, it creates this interference in our mind that makes us think about ourselves rather than be ourselves. And we start, and what we are thinking about is what we think other people think about us. Because we're not really thinking about ourselves. We're thinking about what we think other people think about us. And the reality is most of the time, other people don't give a damn. But we spend all of this time trying to figure out what they're thinking about us, if they like us, are we being seen favorably by them. And all that stuff is a bunch of distractions used by the ego to prevent us from achieving the greatest goal on earth, which is to fall in love with yourself in your life. Because until you fall in love with yourself, you're really not going to benefit from the fullness of what your life is and what your life is coming to this world to do.
That's a very powerful answer, Mahdi. And, as I think about that question, I think about, reflecting upon my childhood and growing up. One of the things I know is that I created this false identity that I now understand was an ego identity. And I was so caught up with seeking the validations of other people, trying to please other people, be what other people wanted me to be, that I became so separated. I became extremely separated from relationship to my soul, and I lost the direction that my soul was providing me. And that led to me, bro, to addiction, which you know well of, drinking too much, smoking weed, gambling too much, engaging in sexist, patriarchal behaviors. And, one of the things that has helped me to really understand ego and live in ego focus, bro, and how it damages and impacts our life is understanding soul focus, living a soul focused life. And so, can you speak to a little bit of how people can understand when ego is playing out in their life so they can really call it to task and get back to being soul focused, our natural way of being, our natural expression?
Yeah, I like what you said, D, because you really put it there easy for me to make a swing at it. First of all, you got to understand what being soul focused, being ego focused really is. Being ego focused is really having a distorted view about yourself, a distorted view of your own natural expression. So the way you see the way you naturally express yourself you look at it and you think there's something wrong with it. You look at it and you think there's something missing with it. And so you exist in doubt, and you try to hide the doubt, so you pretend for other people because you think that you could fool people. But you may be able to fool people, but there's one person you're not fooling, and that's yourself, because yourself knows the truth. Now, being soul-focused is the direct opposite. It's having a clear and healthy view of your natural expression. So when you see yourself, you see the value in it. You see the power in it. You see the purpose in your natural expression, and you do nothing to alter or interrupt the natural flow of it. So when your soul gives you natural expression to share with the world, you don't change it for other people. You keep it the same because you know that your soul knows what's best for you, because your soul is who you really are. It is the core of who you really are. It is your spiritual brain that does thinking for you on a whole higher level. Your soul does supernatural thinking for you. It knows the solution to shit long before you even ask the question, and it uses natural expression as the way to deliver you to your desires, the way to deliver you to the life you want to live. What the ego does, it interferes with that, and it gets us to question it. And so because we question our natural expression, we stop it from doing this thing. And so we miss out on the very things that our life has been designed to bless us with. We miss out on it totally. Yeah.
And, Mahdi, as you say that, you took me back to a workshop we recently did, and I remember you talking about ego being conflict-based and fear-based. And I see so many people in the world who are in a constant state of both fear and conflict with themselves and with people that they're in a relationship with. And so stepping out of ego, how would that begin to shift your relationship with yourself? And I know you've been speaking to that, but if you could speak more to it, and how would it change your relationship with the people that you want to love the most that are right around you, your children, your lover, your partner? How would that shift that?
Well, see, when we are ego-focused, we're hiding in plain sight. Who we really are, people are not getting to know, because we're fronting so much and pretending so many different things that people are not actually able to connect to us. So we can be in a relationship and be in close proximity to each other, but be far apart emotionally and mentally, because we're not really connecting, because we're not being honest. Ego drives us to be dishonest. So we are dishonest in so many parts of our life, and our life is filled with so much bullshit that it's almost impossible for you to establish any real meaningful relationship. The other thing is that when ego is running the show, the ego always wants to fight. The ego always wants to fight and compete. Every time you see yourself wanting to fight and compete with other people, that's ego-driven. The soul is always interested in two things. Number one, creating, and number two, experiencing what it creates. Because that's how the soul knows this is what natural expression is for. Your natural expression is for creating what you desire in life and then experiencing what you desire. And that experience is then recorded in soul, because that's why the soul came into this realm, to create and experience. So all the time we take fighting and competing is time we don't spend learning how to create what we desire. And think about that. We have not been creating the kinds of lives that we really want to live. We've been struggling, fighting, and protesting, rather than taking our energy and focusing on falling in love with our natural expression and seeing what our natural expression can create for us in the world, for our families, and for the world of benefit as well.
Right. Beautiful answer. And I imagine we're going to talk further in our next episodes more around ego and soul focus. I thank you for your answers, Mahdi and Nicole. I thank you for your question. And as always, stay soul focused.
Stay soul focused.
Patreon is a site that allows content creators to earn money for the work they are creating and sharing with the public. If you wish to support and follow content created by Soul Focus Work, visit their new Patreon account at www.patreon.com/soulfocuswork.